So, with your recent album debuting at #1, congratulations, by the way. Tell me about life since then, as far as...
It's the same. We, just continue to, we make an album and tour, and then make an album and tour, and we even tour when we don't make an album. So
right.
It was really cool. That happened twice. It's the last 2 albums have debuted at #1. This one, I don't know. I was really excited last time, and I'm more excited this time because we produced this album ourselves instead of, which I love the last one too. It was Brendan
right.
O'Brien produced it, but I don't know. It just seems like a slow. We're on the slow roller coaster hill, and I don't really know where it's going, but it's clicking.
Well, in the progression of artistry, like producing your own record, and where did you all record it?
In Atlanta.
In Atlanta?
North of Atlanta.
Rep.
The studio, it closed now, actually. It was called The Quarry. But it was owned by, there's a Christian rock band from, they probably hate to be called that, but called Third Day from Atlanta. I didn't even know.
I'm familiar with them.
I didn't even know who they were. And I walked into that studio for the first day that we worked there, and there were 9 platinum records on the wall of theirs. And I was like, oh, okay.
These are kind of a big deal, I guess.
They're a pretty big deal, but really nice place, really nice guys.
Atlanta is so great at supporting music scenes, too. I'm sure while you were there, you found, they're really trying to branch and be more eclectic. It was kind of, it was hip-hop for a long time. That was like the 90s and stuff. They were pretty straight hip-hop, and thankfully, because we got a lot of great artists out of it. And then now, there's been a lot of house saturation and, electronic music and stuff. But I really feel like they're trying to diversify and support all kinds of, music. And
the music that we play, there are not a lot of bands, or haven't been for a long time, that play this type of music.
Mm-hmm.
So when we first started this band in 2000, 2001, we couldn't get arrested in Atlanta, so we had to go elsewhere.
Uh-huh.
And then we finally came, once we, built a bit of a fan base, then it changed. But
what do you feel like as, being a new artist, it was a long time ago for you, but, like you said, you still kind of feel like you're on that climb. What do you feel like now is pushes that along the quickest, kind of advances that? Do you think it's support from, a larger artist, getting kind of connected there and building yourself up, or do you think that, a lot of artists that we speak with will be, social media has been a huge help, and, what do you guys find to be kind of your key at building your
I will tell you, honestly, what I've experienced in the last 10 years, really, the most powerful medium is television.
Really?
Of all things. Social media is obviously very important. You reach people that you're going to reach, really. I don't know how many people go looking for something new.
Right.
They might accidentally get tagged in something. But we had a live show that we played that DirecTV ran for a year. Massive. And then Palladia, which is a specialized station, it's a specialty cable channel. We hooked up with them, and they aired a live DVD that we made. They edited it for content and for time, and they ran it for a year. Same thing. We would talk to so many people that were like, saw you on DirecTV, saw you on Palladia, saw you on... More than any radio station, more than any...
Huh.
It was massive.
That's a new answer. That's really good to hear.
Because I would have thought that was dead.
I think that a lot of artists feel that because it's always, I watched your video on YouTube, or that's a YouTube sensation. Exactly. So that's pretty awesome, though.
Yeah.
I worked for AT&T for a long time, so you said DirecTV. I was like, oh,
we just did Colbert.
Yeah, that was going to be one of my questions. How was that? I love to watch him. I could hear him rant about the things in life forever. Yeah. So I wondered what, my question was going to be, what was the experience like? Is he who we see on TV? Is he that person and that role? And
I don't know. I didn't really talk to him. I would imagine that he is quite a character. No, it was great. But for example, we see heavy traffic as far as our website and our social media from those type of performances. Jules Holland in England, same thing. It was massive. So I never thought, I'm like, wow, we don't get any support from radio other than Sirius XM. We were great. That's big, but no terrestrial radio, but television.
Which I find it crazy, that's the case, because I feel like your music fits in so many different, potential stations and things that you would think you would be a nice cross for, music that or stations that need to build their following, need to kind of bring in, because if you're playing all the same type of music, what's your following's not going to grow, it's going to just kind of stay.
Yeah.
But you guys sort of can cross, you have, a little bit of rock, it's just kind of...
Yeah. We're not tied to a genre. I figure we're a rock and roll band. People like those records charted as country records, which... we're not a country band, but how many country bands are country bands?
Exactly.
It's so blurry now.
Exactly. We had a conversation at Floyd Fest, one of my interviews, or Rooster Walk, I'm sorry, and we were talking about new genres being born of all of these kind of cross, playing and stuff, and LOCKN and festivals really are being big supporters of that, and I think that the future of music is going to look very different than the current or the past. So.
Well, it's so. I watched this documentary about Oasis recently, and Noel Gallagher. That documentary ends with them playing 2 sold-out nights at Nebworth in the UK, which is 250,000 tickets sold.
Incredible.
And he said 2.1 million people tried to buy tickets, so they could have done 6 or 7 nights at Nebworth. And he's like, this is right before the internet became widely available to people. Mm-hmm. And so he said, I don't see that happening for a young band again, because now there are so many choices, and it's instant gratification.
Yep.
24/7. But back then, people would latch themselves onto something that they really loved and cared about. This one singular, this one, I love this band.
Right.
And that
this one only.
That just doesn't happen anymore.
Well, speaking of that, and kind of, artists that you love and records that you've made, you guys had Greg Allman on a track. Did you record that together? Were you able to play together? Was that...
No.
Or did he do his?
We had played together some different... she played shows together, and I actually played a song with him in Macon, which was fantastic. But we weren't there. We weren't able to be there that day. We had recorded the song already, and we were in Europe, and he came in the studio that day on a day that we were gone.
Okay.
And put his.
But you had played prior to, so you know, in the fortunate realm of things, because there's so many artists who were kind of devastated that never had the opportunity. So that's
and we played a show right after that. We came home. It was maybe a couple of weeks later, and played in Chicago with him. And he was always so gracious. But I had no idea that he was in such bad health then. He was sick, and we didn't know. He was very guarded.
Yeah.
We all knew that he had the liver transplant, and I thought he had a lot of complications with that. But but I think we all thought he was out of the dark. Everything was cool, but he was sick.
So many artists that way. I mean, him, Bowie. So many artists, just keep on chugging until they're their last. I guess it's the way that you have to do it if you're going to do it right.
Totally. It makes me sad, because even sadder when I think, I'm like, wow, he was so sick, he didn't have to come do that.
Right. But so fortunate too that to be among a professional that is that dedicated, that he would, feeling that way and being that sick. And, it just speaks to who he was as a person, as a professional. Yeah. Kind of, gives guidance to some, new bands and even existing bands who, lose their way or get frustrated or, things become bigger than the business or whatever. It's just like, you have to remember what the root of it is. Like, this is what you love. And then we'll wrap it up with, you're headed to Farm Aid in a couple weeks. Or what's your place in that? Are you guys doing multiple sets? Are you helping with any of the fundraising stuff? I know that all works. Okay, that all works so different, I feel like. So I wanted to ask kind of what you were headed for there and what it was going to look like for you.
I don't know. All I know is that we're playing a show. I don't know that we might get there, and I might find out differently. I mean, how cool is that?
It's a wonderful organization, and I think that they really, if you're an artist that wants to be put to work and an artist that wants to be involved,
right?
People pop up on stages, and I think it would be so cool to be there because of that. You don't know who's going to jump up on stage together, and you know how it's going to look. So I think that's super cool.
I think the first Farm Aid happened when I was 10, or no, 11 maybe. So it's just very surreal.
Yeah.
I remember seeing Guns N' Roses on Farm Aid in 1990, and they played Civil War for the first time, that song, and I remember being like glued to the fucking television set because I was everybody that was 14 at the time loved Guns N' Roses.
Right.
What a huge moment.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Not to mention Neil Young, John Mellencamp, and Willie Nelson.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much for your time. I know that
Thank you guys.
your time is limited at